Tonight, the death toll from the deadly coronavirus increases to 26. The government and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force outlined their strategic plan to tackle crime at a community meeting. And the mayor says a simple relocation has been blown out of proportion due to political mischief. You have the details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Loveless and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Friday, the 24th of January, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We're on Flow Channel 117. The broadcast is also being simulcast on Kiss FM. You can watch via our website, www.caribbeanhottv.com, or on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. China has widened its travel restrictions in Hubei province, the center of the coronavirus outbreak, as the death toll has climbed to 26. The restrictions will affect at least 20 million people across cities, including in the capital, Wuhan, where the virus emerged. Nationally, there are currently 830 confirmed cases of patients infected with the virus in China. Wuhan, where the outbreak began, is rapidly building a new hospital. The city, home to around 11 million people, is struggling to cope with the increasing number of patients. A small number of confirmed cases have also been found outside China, including in Thailand, the US, Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, Vietnam, and Singapore. On Friday, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention confirmed that a second case of the coronavirus has been identified in Chicago. In other news, Mayor of Castries, Peterson Francis, has fired back at one vendor who refused to move from her location after no vending signs had been erected. The outspoken vendor claimed she was being victimized. The mayor says, political mischief aside, the vendor simply had to be relocated.
Hot 7 News told the story of outspoken vendor Josephine Book. On January 17th, the irate vendor expressed that she had been continuously persecuted by policy enforced by the Castries City Council and councilmen of the mayor of Castries, Peterson Francis. The mayor has responded to the allegations of persecution, saying there is no personal vendetta against the vendor, and the installation of the no vending signs in the area was business as usual.
In respect to the lady who has been vocal about CCC, about the vending, we made it absolutely clear that as we relocated the provision market, that everybody, they agreed, they are the people, the vendors were the one who insisted that everybody must go down there. We adhered to that. We have warned that lady that what butch is. You know, I mean, that is a lady who, even before my time, has given City Council so much trouble. They had to actually literally take her away from in front of the courthouse. Not only that she was vending illegally, but she had the place so dirty. So we have warned her. We are not collecting any money from her. Now, at the end of the day, CCC is the one controlling the vending on the road also. So we have warned her. We have spoken to her. But she believed, and everything in St. Lucia, she believed political. I'm not worried about it. So Ms. Burke, we have put no vending. We are going as far as putting no vending sign. She disregards it. So we'll take the action that the law permits us to take.
In a previous broadcast of the Hot 7 Nightly News, vendor Josephine Book was adamant that she would not be moved.
But still can be no vending right now.
It was noted the vendor had relocated to a location not too far from the original spot where the no vending signs were placed.
She did go higher. It was Dilly's. Now, what we have done is to say, well, on Fridays and Saturdays, we know people are coming from all over the island, especially on Saturdays. So we allow the vending as normal. So the vendor in the street and so on, we allow that. Okay? But Ms. Burke is somebody who is just a troublemaker. And we don't care whether she and she keeps the place so untidy.
Francis divulged that the Castries City Council and Ms. Josephine Book have an ongoing court case. He adds there will be no hesitation to arrest the vendor if she insists on breaking the law. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
The government of St. Lucia is hitting the ground running in 2020 in tackling the issue of citizen safety. On Wednesday, government officials, along with the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, held the first community meeting for the year in Grosile. They outlined their strategic plan moving forward.
The police are the public and the public are the police is the principle being embraced by the Grosile Police Subdivision and by extension the Royal St. Lucia Police Force RSLPF as it embarks on its Policing My Community Forum. The division, in collaboration with the Office of the Prime Minister, on Wednesday held a community forum in Grosile where the RSLPF and members of Cabinet sought to engage members of the public and inform them of upcoming developments. Prime Minister the Honourable Alan Chastanet, while assuring that the government was doing all in its power to provide the RSLPF with the required tools, indicated that the assistance of the public is paramount to fighting crime.
But I can assure you that my government is doing everything that we can, and I'm not just saying that to say to you to comfort you, but we're seeing the results. And I can tell you that I am so enthused and so proud of the police officers in this country, who I think that go too often unappreciated, and we're not understanding the weight that they're having to carry. We're not appreciating the sacrifices that they're making. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to be tough on them. I am. But I want us as a society to work together because we cannot do it alone. But we are going to fix this problem. Cannot grow this economy without solving security. We believe as a government that every single solution, regardless of where you live, the standard of security that you have should be the same.
Minister for Equity, Social Justice, Local Government and Empowerment and Parliamentary Representative for Grosile, Honourable Leonard Montoute, explained that the government is discussing the construction of a new police station and court in Grosile. He asserted, however, that despite the many interventions being made to combat crime, the community too has its part to play.
If we can do so, become our brothers' keepers, I think we would do ourselves a bit of justice. We would, do the neighbors a lot of justice. We would alleviate the pressure on the police and, of course, reduce criminal activity. Criminal activity goes a long way in terms of your well-being, the quality of life that you experience, and, of course, let us not forget, it has a direct impact on our economy in particular being a service-driven economy where tourism is the mainstay of our economy. And while the Commissioner indicated that we are not putting measures in place specifically or solely for tourists, we first and foremost have to see about our security and safety. But at the same time, if we are to welcome people to our shores, we have to ensure that they feel safe when they are here.
Grosile Police Subdivision Commander, Acting Assistant Superintendent of Police Elvis Thomas, indicated that the division welcomes the recommendations made by the public and has since implemented some of them. These include increased operations, traffic checks, foot and mobile patrols, appointment of press relations officers for Rodney Bay and Grosile police stations, and the addition of more experienced police officers at the stations.
Changes have been made to the front desk at the Grosile Police Station in terms of improvements to our customer service. All staff members have been spoken to about the need for better customer service. Discussions are ongoing with the St. Lucia Hospitality and Tourism Association regarding customer training for all staff. Discussions are also ongoing with SLHTA for donation of bicycles to establish a bicycle patrol unit for the north, and I know Mr. Daisy is smiling. Efforts are being made for us to improve on our response time. We have had a number of successful operations and traffic checks, which led to the recovery of firearms, seizure of dangerous drugs and weapons, issuing of several traffic tickets, and arrest of known criminal elements.
The Royal St. Lucia Police Force and the Government of St. Lucia is strategically working towards better crime prevention, detection, and improved police service delivery. The strategy encompasses 4 main initiatives, including increased police presence, expanding CCTV surveillance, strengthening community policing, and revitalizing the RSLPF. Acting Police Commissioner Milton Daisy said community policing is very effective in fighting crime.
The community policing model, it is not just going to the community, speaking to persons, that is part of it. But it is where the community and the police, you are committed to the fight against crime. And the community coming together to say, just as the police are saying, let us stamp out these crime issues. Now, what we have also realized is that where persons, the community is more engaged in policing of their community, you see less crime being committed. And that is what we want to see for Gros Islet.
The series of meetings, which began on the 7th of December 2019 with 4 stakeholder groups, is seeking to improve the crime situation in the country with the assistance of the public. For the Government Information Service, I am Janelle Norville.
Members of the public are outraged after a retail outlet refused to allow customers to try sale items in their changing room and adhering to a strict no-return policy. Hot 7 TV took to the streets, and members of the public were eager to share their thoughts on this matter.
An anticipated sale has rubbed members of the public the wrong way. Customers were not allowed to use the changing room and do not have the opportunity to return the items at a local retail outlet. So the public has weighed in on the matter. This is what they had to say.
First of all, shop owners, I would like to tell you one thing. You have a shop, you're selling goods for people, for customers. You're supposed to allow the customers to try the clothes before they live with it. Now, it's your fault if you don't allow them to try the clothes. So if they bring it back and it's too small, you have a right to change the clothes for them because it's your fault that you didn't allow them to try the clothes. I make the money to come and buy from you, but you're supposed to do it the right way by changing the clothes. Shop owners, it's time for you all to change that mentality you all have, and the public doing a job with you all, do the job with the public. Stop being unfair to people who works hard for the money. It's not right.
As long as I have your receipt and it's from you, I buy the dress, it don't fit, I suppose you're supposed to exchange, even though you don't want to take it back, to refund the money, but I can exchange it to something else.
That's a bad policy, and they should change it, because if I'm buying something and I leave the store with it and I go home and it doesn't fit, I cannot wear it and I paid for it, so my money should be refunded.
Once you have your receipt, you have the right to return it and they have the right to change it for you. That's what it is.
Do you think that anytime you you go into a store, you should be allowed to use the changing room and try on an outfit before you buy it?
Well, it's according to the color of the outfit. Like white outfits, it's unable to try white outfit. But if it's a black or dark blue, you have the right to try it on to see how it fits.
I find it's not right because, I mean, I cannot try it. And when I get to my home, I try it and I bring it back, especially if my receipt, if there's a receipt, why can't I get it changed? That's not right, it's not fair.
Well, what's on my thoughts on that? Si moi gagne un chemise. Moi aller on me mettre chemise là, avec chemise là trop petit. Et que moi aller au shop là, moi dit c'est mon na bail là trop petit, moi voulais là moi vieux, ou moi voulais l'autre chemise qui plus gros et qui dit moi non. Mais ça va là envie, ça pas right, ça pas business. On ne peut changer bail là pour moun là. On ne peut faire ça. Yo pas ça juste dit c'est moun na m'a changer bail là, si petit si pas petit. Mais moi dou bagay là petit, moi voulais bail qui ça servi moi. Marco, is that right?
Alors, lorsque je suis dans mon pays, je peux acheter, comment je peux dire, des maillots, des vêtements. J'ai trouvé des endroits pour essayer, mais ici, je ne peux pas faire ça. Dans les magasins, lorsque j'achète, je voulais acheter des vêtements, mais je ne peux pas essayer. Voilà pourquoi je n'ai pas fait ça. Je ne sais pas pourquoi qu'on n'a pas mis quelques endroits pour faire ça.
All I can say is that nobody is not demanding you to buy. So if you could get that kind of accommodation that you cannot go and change it, just don't buy it. Yeah, if you buy it and so on, and when each room might be too large or too small for you, you can't bring it back. Just avert it. Don't buy. That's it. Simple.
Majority of the public voiced their concerns, saying a receipt of purchase warrants a refund. However, one citizen was adamant that if proper accommodations were not made for changing, then the public should let their wallets talk by not patronizing the sale. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, the cannabis movement makes its licensing proposal to government. The governor of the ECCB decries what he calls an obsession with subject passes as opposed to skills. And a new home for the Castries Fisher Folk Cooperative is commissioned. That and more coming up after the break.